Hey, how you guys doing? I back Lex. Yeah, so IS-6 premium tank. Now premium means you have to buy it. It's the only way you can get it, and it has some goods and bads, just like all premiums. But I'll say this one has more pros than cons. The Super Persian, although I really like the tank, I like the armor on the front of it. It's so slow, and this is actually faster than it is, and it's a heavy. Probably the only thing is that the cannon on it is a tier 8. So when you get an IS-3, the armor is much thicker on the front, but it's at a steeper angle. So there's less armor on the front of this. It's 100 and then 110, pretty much all the way around. 110 on the turret. But I'm gonna go ahead and double check that because the penetration is pretty poor. But I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, if any of you guys have gone down the IS line, you pretty much keep the IS from the KV-80. I'm sorry, you keep the 122 millimeter all the way from the KV-85 all the way up until you get into the IS-6, and the one I have now is just a much more accurate, version of that. So penetration, it says 131 is the pin. 131 pin with standard ABR round. Damage is 293, but that's actually not true. It does a solid 400. I'm going to go ahead and just go into the more detailed settings on here real quick. And you can see here I'm racing over here to try and take out another IS. Now I'm thinking he's a pretty new pilot, so go ahead and do this again. So hit X. Okay, there we go. Pretty difficult. Okay, so here's the armor ratings. Is, like I said, 100. So the penetration it actually does is 175, and it does 390 damage and a possible at 530. The turret has 150 all the way around, so 150 front, 150 side, and then 100 in the back. So where that bag is probably the weakest point on this. And if we go ahead and look, if I go ahead and tell you, the view range is pretty poor. So it's a 350 is the view range. Signal is about average. But it's quick. It's a quick tank. Reload is 5.33. I'm going to go ahead and say that you can throw on a gun rammer. And if you want it to be even quicker, you could probably throw on some ventilation. And then if you want to make it even faster, reloading and performance, you could probably go for brothers and arms. It's a perk. Excuse me. So you can see here I'm actually having trouble penetrating the angled armor, and I'm at a good angle. I'm not too worried about him. I hit his gun barrel there. I'm just having no luck with this guy. You'll see here I got red, but that's only because those little plates are penetrable, but it's technically spaced armor. So I just got another critical hit is all I got. That Chira is actually tearing me up. Now I realize that me and him are going to have a really hard time penetrating each other, so I'm like, you know what, I'm going to end up getting killed by the Chira because it has an auto loader. That means it can fire 4 shots, so I'm like, I better kill him before he gets up on me. And he basically uses cover for me. If you've seen that, he was giving me cover, and boom, he's gone. Now, I would have loved to have gotten credit for this dude. I probably should have concentrated on him. I probably could have got both kills, but I think that Chiro was going to reload and tear me a new one. Yeah, having a 5-round clip in a tank that fires like this, boom, 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 that's pretty awesome. I am working on some other tanks that have autoloaders, and that would mainly be the basically I'm going down the British Bulldog. I'm sorry, the M41 Walker Bulldog line. I have the Bulldog right now. I'm getting ready to get the T49. I might show you guys some game footage on that. The T49 has something like a possible 890 damage gun on it. It has a humongous derp on it, and it's a light tank. But it's going to drop me into the T54E1 and then the T57 Heavy. And those have autoloaders. They have poor armor, but autoloaders. So, yeah, coming up to the end of this video, I wanted to get some more kills, but it doesn't really matter because the real idea here is that, do you guys want a really good premium tank? This is probably the best premium tank that I've gotten. The only one that is equivalent is the Panzer V4. I mean, as far as speed and how good the gun is, you know, it's lacking in penetration, but what it makes up for with penetration, it makes up with armor and so on. So I wanted to let you guys know I'm working on the E50. That's a tier 9. And I'm also working on the M103, which I've done videos on that before. That was pretty good. 381 on that at a side glance. So yeah, I'm also working on the Indian Panzer, which is going to get me into the prototype. So if you guys are interested in seeing any of those tanks, we can actually, you know, go into the garage really quick, which people have asked me what I got going now. So I'm going to go ahead and, you know, show you guys how much you get on an average game. So if you get 1 kill and you make 1,500, you know, damage, you know, and block some, you're going to get a ton of XP. Alright, so inside the garage, I wanted to go ahead and show you guys something real quick. And that is a match I had earlier with the Ferdinand. We're going to get to that point, but I wanted to show you the screenshots of it first. Alright, so screenshots, here we go. This was the victory that I had. Now, it's my first time in, you know, my first time getting 8 kills. And you know what sucks? Did not have the recorder on. And you guys can see here it was on Lakeville. I got the Radley Walters medal, and I got Devastator. I got Mastery. I added 5 points to my, what was it? Just everything. Top Gun. Crazy. And look at how much damage I did. Just absolutely. And blocked 1,500. I clutched that whole game. I wanted to go ahead and show you guys the score. You can see everybody was dead. I was the last man standing. And I took out 4 dudes at the end of the match, and 2 of them were Borsiks. It was such an epic gameplay. I really wish I could have showed it to you guys. It would have been awesome. Alright, so sorry about the editing, but I don't want to make this a really long video. I was going to go ahead and show you guys every tank in the garage, but we're just going to look at the ones you guys haven't seen. I'm just going to talk about them, and this is one of them. It's a spotting tank, or a light tank, basically designed to be really fast. It does 72 kilometers, which makes this thing crazy fast. I just got it, so I'm trying to get down into the T57 heavy with this. So anyway, go ahead and go to this tank, which is one of my first premiums. Somebody asked me, they seen it, and they said, you know, what kind of tank is that? And basically what this is like, it's a German Panther bottom with a, was it Panzer IV top. So it's a hybrid, basically. They were running out of materials towards the end of the war, so they started taking in their old tanks and throwing the guns on here and throwing them on newer bottoms, and probably vice versa. If they could, they probably would have done throw anything out there at the end of the war. So yeah, this is supposed to be an accurate, you know, timeline. I do believe that the bottom is not actually a Panther. I believe it's actually a light tank version, but it has 85 millimeter plate, which is exactly the same as this tank, the Panther. So they're really identical. They just one has a gun on the left side and the other one doesn't. But I just thought I'd show it to you because it's cool. You guys have never seen the Panther. I haven't done any videos on it because it's not the best tank. I'm just going to tell you. It is a really cool tank, but it's considered a heavy, but they have it as a medium on here, and I don't know why. You know, it's kind of odd. But anyway, I did want to show you guys this one, and this is the Indian Panzer. And the Indian Panzer basically will get you into the prototype. Now, this is a modern tank. If you guys look at it, the tracks are basically the same as an American. So let's go ahead and look at an American tank. As you can see, it has the same tracks. So I believe that the Germans were trying to win a bid for this, you know, to sell this to the United States, or at least show them the technology that they had using, you know, German engineering, you know, of the time. But I'm not too sure. But it does get you into the Leopard prototype, which is a modern tank. It went out of service in like the 70s, but it was in service for quite a long time. Um, but anyway, the E50, which I'm working on, I'm only halfway through upgrading it, so we're not going to look at that. I'll probably do an episode on that. Of course, you guys have seen that. And then the Ferdinand, which that was a screenshot in the beginning. This is the Ferdinand. Great tank. Everything above the gun here, I'm sorry, below the gun is can be hit or penetrated. But where the gun is and that mandolet in the front there, that thing cannot be penetrated, but the sides can. So, yeah, it's at an angle. You have to be careful when you shoot it, but you know, you just, as long as you pin it on that lower half, it's basically a Tiger P with that's why it's the Ferdinand. Anyway, a new tank line I'm going down right now. I just started, me and Hectic's shots started on this. We're both working on it at the same time. I'm not really too impressed with the medium tanks of the Russian, you know, but it is a quick tank. I think it does 62 kilometers, which is pretty fast for a medium. But it is a really hard grind to get into this tank. I'm going to just tell you that right now. So you guys have seen everything else, and of course I just got this because today they had a sale. Basically, you know, they have a sale on all the artillery and all tank killers, so that's pretty cool. You can see it's 50% off. So instead of paying 400,000 for this, I only paid 200. So that's a deal. I was like, I'll pick it up. I mean, I do want to go down that tank line at some point anyway. I kind of wanted to have a tank killer of American, a tank killer of Soviet, and a tank killer on German, and basically kind of like this. I wanted to have the American heavy tank, American medium, and American tank killer, and then the same with the Russian and the same with the German, and eventually I'll probably do the same with France and so on. I need more garage slots for that, as you guys can see. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Comment, like, and subscribe, and have a good one. Later.